Hi, it's Karen with RT System, and we're going to talk today about something that honestly Yaesu does better than anybody. What you see on the screen is kind of a mess because Yaesu does this in the FT5D, the FT4X and 4V, the 3D, the 60, pretty much all of their handhelds, and in the past, some of their mobile radios. And what I'm talking about are banks, the ultimate in organization. And you see banks here in each of these programmers. Now, it's not limited to those that I named, but it's included in those. And we're going to work in the FT70 today because that's where the last questions came from on this. The customer wanted to separate a new list for a route up to channel 500 so that they would be out of the way of his regular repeaters. That's not really going to do it because if you continue to work in all memories, you're going to start at 1 and you're going to scan all the way up and it's going to skip over and do 500 and above. And you're just not going to get what you're after. So let's see what would do it best. We're going to work with this file and we want some separation. Some of these are local channels, some are for a trip I'm taking, some of these are for a parade that I do. So the first thing I want to do is decide under bank name and linking that my first group is local. This is important because one, we're going to put it on the screen so you know what you're putting in that bank. And two, so on the radio, when you are selecting the bank, you don't have to remember, was it number 3 or number 5? It will say what's in that bank. This is my Alabama group, and that's all I can get in, but that's enough. I'll know what it is. And this is MS Parade. And this is Hamfest. Okay. And see, my screen changes, but I'm going to be working all the way from over here to over here. I got to remember what I'm doing all the way across those columns. No, this is an RT Systems programmer. Bank settings. And all that extra went away. Now I have my receive frequency and my name, which is enough to tell me what's going into each of these. It's really cool. I still have my comment. That gives me some extra information also. I'm going to spread these out so I can see them better. And my local ones, these are the ones that on the top. I'm going to check the first one and I'm going to go Control C, or with the black box around it, I'm going to go Copy, or I'm going to right click and go copy. I like keyboard commands, so I'm going to be doing everything with the keyboard. So I've got that copied. Shift and down arrow, the easiest way to stay in the same column. And this group, that's few too many. And these are my local ones. So I'll do Control V. And on the Mac, that's Command C and Command V, and it'll do the same thing. Now, this first repeater I want to always have available. This is my home repeater. I want it when I'm going out. I want it when I'm coming back, even though I've been working in a different bank. So it's now in all 4 of those banks. This group, these are my Alabama guys. Not quite as many as of those, but when I go over there, I want to work just those repeaters. My MS Bike Race, that's these 2 right down here. And my Hamfest, well, that's these 2. and this one. And oh, yep, by the way, this one right down here gets included too. Well, what about all of these down here? Well, number one, they will be available to you when you are in all memories. Or if this is your trip, I'm going to click this one, Control C, Shift and down arrow, and Control V. And even better, you might want to divide these up to the first day of your travels, the second day of your travels in the next bank, third day of your travels in the next bank. Then you don't have to program your radio as you go. You just switch banks every morning when you get up, and as you're driving, you're scanning just within that state or for a certain metropolitan area. It divides them up. When you are in a bank, the radio knows only what is in that bank. So I send this to my radio, and then I have a little work to do. These are all so similar. I'm going to show you several at once. Starting just a few years ago, these instructions went into the advanced manuals. They left the regular manuals that you got with your radio. Advanced manuals are available from Yaesu's website. Good thing to have. For the FT60, like I said, that one's 25 years old. It's in the regular manual because there was only ever one manual. And you come in here and you look for memory bank operations. Assigning memories to a bank, you can skip that. That's what you did in the programmer. What you want is this memory bank recall. And it's just a series of button presses on the radio. And what always gets me is what button you press to save what you've done. I can't tell you how many times I have gotten out of this on a radio and not been in the bank I selected. Kind of frustrating, but it's all just a part of learning a new function on your radio. FT5D, opening the memory bank display. This is selection of the memory bank. FT70, opening memory bank channels. This is selection of the bank. Once you're in the bank, that's all the radio knows, whether you're tuning manually or you're scanning. So include everything you want. Remember, you can include the same one in every bank if you want, and you'll get those channels so organized, you will just be ready to go and have a good time because the more organized you are, better the radio works for you. Think about it and see what you can do with it. Hope this helps. This is Karen, and remember, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. 73s.